We're talking about Theo's trip to China.
It was interesting, man. It was fascinating. And they didn't seem to like kind of lull in their problems as much as like I started thinking like maybe it's like a delicacy or mental health issues. It's like something that we get because we're almost out of stuff to do, or we're not like moving forward as a group that much. So it's like we're stuck in our own thoughts. I don't know.
Dude, you're profound. I mean, you remind me of two things. First of all, the incidence of depression is very low in countries where people are struggling to survive.
Really?
Yeah. And among hunter-gatherers, it's practically zero, as far as I know, any clinical depression at all. In addition to like diabetes and heart disease, I mean, hunter-gatherers are really healthy physically as well as mentally and psychologically. But the other thing you remind me of, talking about like dealing with China and like people being a collective more than individuals, a psychologist at Stanford wrote this really interesting paper about how rice-based cultures are much more collective than cultures that rely on other foods like wheat or, like in the West. Because to grow rice, you have to have like this massive coordination. Everybody has to participate in the planting and the harvesting because it's massive and it happens really quickly. So it can't just be a few people farming and everybody else chilling out.
Oh, wow.
Like the whole culture has to come together and cooperate or it doesn't work.
Wow.
So it's interesting. You do have these Asian cultures then that are, maybe that's her hypothesis, is it comes from centuries of growing rice.
Wow.
That everybody's like, okay, we
got to survive. We need to do this now.
All or nothing, everybody or nobody. Yeah.
And I think in small, it's funny. I think in smaller areas, I would feel that kind of thing more like where there was some like group like stuff, like in towns and stuff. I think sometimes, or maybe just in the past growing up, like I would feel like, we were more of like a group, like our town,
Yeah.
And then you get into a big city and it's just kind of like, oh, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
You know? But it was awesome, man.
You were there for what, 10 days or something?
Yeah, I was there for, about 8 days. I went there and did comedy and people came out and it was fun.
So it's all expats that are coming out or Chinese who speak English?
There were some Chinese. I thought there were some Chinese ladies just looking for a husband. Like I thought the front 2 rows every show was just ladies that didn't speak any English, just like, kind of not pick me, like I deserve to be choosing anybody, but like
you're on stage, dude.
But that's a good
There
point.
is that.
I mean, there is that. That's true. I mean, a couple of the stages were pretty much. One stage was just like 200 Chinese people just hold me up with their hands. So it was just like, but yeah, you talk about
you're
teamwork.
Like crowd surfing or something?
No, but it was
not even stand up. You're like on your back doing comedy.
Like, man, the stage is soft and there's a heartbeat over here.
1,000 fingers massage. Yeah.
But I thought it was probably 30% Chinese people. It was a lot of like English teachers over there.
Right.
And what did I think? I felt like I felt like I was just enthralled with everything that was going on. Like it was just like, oh, this is great. Like even just riding on the trains and there was no waste of space. Like even as you were leaving out of the, probably for like, maybe 100 miles, there was no waste of space. Like if there were 2 buildings in a downtown area, in between them there were 2 rows of corn. Like, but you wouldn't see it unless like you were up on a train track or something where you could look down. But you were like, holy shit, there's like 18 square feet of land there, but somebody's put in a man-made lake.
Asbestos corn.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. It's a little crunchy.
I'm not sure if I want to eat that.
Yeah, dude.
So what about the food?
It makes your neck warm, but the corn is good.
Did you eat weird shit? Like, I mean, Chinese are famous for the weird food. China's one country I've never been to and never really wanted to go to.
Really?
Yeah, I traveled in Asia a lot. I've been probably 10 times to Asia, but never to China. It was always just like I went to Nepal and I was considering going to Tibet, but the Chinese were just fucking everything up there. Chinese culture doesn't attract me. It seems like vulgar and aggressive and the food sucks as far as I can tell.
Yeah, it seems scary. They had people eating. I mean, the food was scary to me. I didn't eat a lot of Chinese food. Yeah. I got kind of scared. You know what's funny? Hearing you say that, like, Yeah, like Nepal, like those types, like Tibet, like that makes me think of like, yeah, walking into like another universe, you know, like with even some spirit in it and stuff like that. Yeah, I wasn't really excited about going to Shanghai.
Yeah.
You know, the lady and I went, and she was excited because she hadn't really traveled much, and I
Right.
was like, yeah, I don't know. Shanghai doesn't seem like the kind of place you go for a week and it's going to be.
It's like the future, but if the future sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never been there. I'm talking totally out of my ass.
No, you're
here.
talking like you mean you've never been in the future.
or the future, yeah.
What if you had been in the future, but you hadn't been to China? This is a guy who's been to the future, but also hasn't
Sorry,
been to China.
I like to travel. I've certainly been to the past.
yeah.
I can tell you all about that. No, but like first time I went to Vancouver, I thought this is the future if the future's cool.
Ah, wow.
Like it's clean,
Right.
it's like spaced
Multicultural.
out. You've been to Vancouver?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's multicultural, a lot of green space, you know, like fucking whales coming into town and beautiful mountains and, you know, bald eagles. And it's like, wow, they worked it out.
Yeah.
We made it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then I think of China and it's like you can't see your hand in front of you because of the pollution. It's like Blade Runner or something.
You know what? It seems like Blade Runner, but without a lot of the like, not game planning. I don't know, man. It was baffling.
Yeah.
It was baffling a lot of times. Like, being on the trains, they would build all of these like homes and buildings, but they wouldn't put any windows in them. I guess part of the custom there is they just build the frame. And then whenever a business or a real estate developer moves in, then they put everything else in it. So you would see, I mean, tens of thousands of these. They look deserted, so it looks just like a gray building you'd see in like a forgotten town or city in America where all the windows are out, and so that's what it looks like. But you're like, is it? But it looks kind of new a little,
Right.
And then I found out, yeah, they put nothing, and they literally put the walls up.
Right.
So a lot of places they thought about developing. There's all these literally ghost cities will drive by, and you're like, it's just 70 buildings, no windows, no people. And you're like, what is that?
Yeah. That's a bad investment.
Yeah, that's a bad investment.
Somebody made a bad decision.
And you would see people eating like bird arms. They had like a bagged bird arm. You could get a little bag of bird arm at the
First of all, they got birds with arms. That's a problem. They're flightless, I take
whatever a bird's arm is called.
it. A wing, I think is the word you're looking for. Yeah.
Well, yeah, they had a wing or a talon. That's what I'm thinking of.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, bird foot.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, I guess it is an arm.
My wife eats chicken feet.
Does she really?
She was born and raised in Mozambique.
Oh, wow.
And she's like, you people throw away chicken feet? Are you crazy? Shrimp heads. Oh, yeah. Lobster head.
Ooh.
It's great going out to dinner with her because, like, I get the good parts, and she's like happy with the rest. It's a perfect woman, perfect.
Dude,
Yeah.
that's crazy. Yeah, like even growing in Louisiana, I've never seen anybody eat one of the heads or eat a chicken feet. But it was, yeah, watching people eat stuff like that, even on the trains, and like the smell of a lot of the food and stuff like
Yeah.
that, to me was, to my, senses was unattractive. I noticed a lot of the Chinese people seem very curious. Like my girlfriend had blonde hair, and so you would kind of catch them looking, but they didn't want me to see. They wouldn't make a scene to like their friends, like, hey, look, but you could catch them like very curious, and the kids were very curious. I probably saw 10 white people the whole time that I was there. I saw one black person the whole time that I was there, and I mean, it was all China, it was all Asian people.
Yeah.
I was shocked. I thought there'd be tons of at least white tourists, Europeans.
Nothing.
It blew my mind. I was
Wow.
like, what? This is but there was tons of tourists. There was tons of people in the city. There was tons of like families walking around. They had the kids, the little Chinese daughters, they had them all dressed up like princesses for some reason.
Right.
So it would be crazy. Every little girl you would see was in like a complete princess regalia almost. It was
Regalia.
regalia. That's a Simon Rex term right there.
What's the other one? There's regalia and shit, I forget the other one. I'll think of it in a minute.
But it was great though. Thanks for asking, man. It was great.